everyone, and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, the Sulphur Springs Public Library announced Inspired by the Past, Journeying Toward the Future as this year's Hopkins County Reads theme. The January program features Ann Weisbarger. She will be at the library at 6 p.m. Thursday to discuss the history surrounding Galveston Island during the 1900 hurricane and sign copies of her book, The Promise, about the event called the deadliest disaster in U.S. history. Copies will be available for purchase at the library at that time. Sulphur Springs Public Library is located at 611 North Davis Street. Starting February 4th and continuing each Tuesday and Saturday through April 14th, AARP Tax Aid will be available at the Wesley United Methodist Church located at 614 Texas Street in Sulphur Springs. This service is offered Tuesdays and Saturdays only from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. on a first-come, first-served basis. Those that come are encouraged to bring a previous year's tax return, Social Security cards, or ITIN notices, cards, or other official documentation that shows the taxpayer ID numbers for every individual on the return. Government-issued photo ID for each taxpayer, checking or savings account information if direct deposit is desired for any refunds, and identity protection ID PIN for each individual if applicable. The Hopkins County Commissioners Court commemorated the 41st anniversary of the Civic Center's opening. By the way, that was January 1st, 1979, by recognizing those who contributed to its creation and those who continue to serve on the Civic Center board and in the community. Gary Odom, Linda Hager, and Patsy Johnson were on the first governing board of the Hopkins County Regional Civic Center. County Judge Robert Newsom said, "Not only did they serve then, but they serve today." That's the kind of citizens that make Hopkins County a great place to be. Civic Center Manager Lonnie Fox presented all three with plaques of appreciation. The commissioners added their thanks to the first, past, and current Civic Center board members for their service. The city of Cumbie has slated a citywide cleanup this Friday through Sunday to allow residents to dispose of unwanted trash and junk in the designated 25-yard dumpster located at the City Maintenance Barn. That's located at 101 East Main Street in Cumbie. This according to a post by Alderman Julie Morris on the City of Cumbie Facebook page. Morris posted that plans for cleanup are to have a dumpster delivered quarterly, so if you have plans this weekend and aren't able to take advantage, there will be another dumpster in April, then July, and October. While the dumpster is provided as a free service, city officials do ask that city residents follow a few rules. Make sure everything goes in the dumpster, and there can be no hazardous chemicals such as antifreeze, Freon, oil, gasoline, or items containing any of those substances. Also Monday, the Hopkins County Commissioners Court during their regular session approved a plat request and agreed to add 2 roads to the county road inventory. The court was asked at their January 13th meeting to consider approving a plat request to separate 2 lots in Together Good Deeds 2 addition to sell. County Clerk Tracy Smith told the court the land in session or in question is located in Cumbie and has received approval from the City of Cumbie to provide sewer and water services. Precinct 4 Commissioner Joe Price at that January 13th meeting said that he hadn't viewed the property and he asked the court that the request be tabled until he could check it out. At the Monday meeting, Price said he was able to look at the property last week and affirmed that it meets county requirements. It has water and sewer. He made the motion to approve it, and the court did. The Commissioners Court was also asked at the Monday meeting to consider taking in private roads 4822 and 4823 and Precinct 4 into the county road inventory. Commissioner Price said he had been out to look at the roads and had worked with Steve Hudson and his team to assure some needed changes were made to a turnaround in the cul-de-sac area of the Rock Creek subdivision. He said based on these changes that he's ready to accept the proposed county roads into the county inventory to become County Road 4822 and 4823. The request motion passed. And Wildcat Band Director Spencer Emmert had two band-related bits of news for us Tuesday morning.
You know, it's hard to understand that the band program has more than just marching band after football season, but we're blowing and going strong. We had our all-region clinic this past Friday and Saturday in Mount Pleasant. The students auditioned back in December, and they have to prepare music well ahead of time and perform for a judging panel against the top students across the region. It's kind of like an equivalent to an all-star team in athletics. And so we had 19 students participate in that, which means they placed high enough in the initial auditions to earn a place in that honor band. And that was really exciting because we were one of only two schools there that had a bus there. What that means is we had enough students involved in that to need a bus. Most of those schools were coming up in, smaller vans and things. So that made me pretty excited to see how it compared across the region. Obviously, the goal is to have as many as you can and be involved in that because that means you have the most of the top students in the region. And so that was exciting. The clinicians this year for the top band were Mr. Phil Clements, which is the band director at A&M Commerce, who incidentally has really, that program has really gained notoriety, not just in the state but across the country. They've performed in Chicago, they've performed at our big convention in San Antonio, and recently they've toured Austria on a performance schedule. So that was exciting to kind of hear some of those stories and watch him teach our students. And the second group was a guy named Robert Vetter, who is a retired band director from Robinson outside of Waco, which is a really good band program. So the kids had a great experience in that regard, gave a great performance Saturday afternoon, and really learned a lot. And we have a new thing happening. We have a winter guard, which is our color guard program that is the flags and the rifles and the dance that you see on the field Friday nights. When football season ends, those students, with the way marching band has evolved, those students now have an entire spring performance opportunity, and this is our first ever time to be involved in that. It's a very rigorous, full involved program in the Metroplex. And I told Coach Owens and a few others the other day that equate it to kind of the 7-on-7 in the spring that the football team does. It's something that you really have to do to stay competitive because the top programs are all doing that. And if you don't, you're going to lag behind. And so we were fortunate this year to take a big step in that area with having our new color guard teacher and our students really kind of having a new focus. And so anyway, our first ever Wildcat Winter Guard, who's been working terribly hard, went and competed at Arlington Martin High School and got third out of 14 groups. So that was great. We are in a certain classification, and as we score higher points, the kids will bump up into new classifications. Yeah, I think there's 10 or 12 categories. So it kind of tells you the number of schools that are involved in this and how much of a neat thing it is. They'll be traveling to Northwest High School. They'll be traveling to Red Oak High School. They'll be traveling to Marcus High School. And I believe maybe somewhere in the Denton school district. So multiple opportunities to perform and compete and continue to improve. We're really proud of that.
Yes, indeed. You talked about all region. Do any of those advance to like an all-state band or something?
That all-region audition qualifies the top kids for area, the first one or two chairs, depending on what instrument they play, for the area audition. That area audition is at Berkner, and it happened the first weekend in January.
Oh, okay.
From those top 10 or 12 students from 5 regions, which goes from Wichita Falls to Texarkana all the way down to Lufkin, that tells you a big chunk of the state. 1 to 2 students from that area go on to the All-State Band. So it is a highly rigorous process and a competitive environment. And our students, we took 6 kids to area, which is triple what we have done in the past. Last year we had 6 as well, so that was good. But from early on, we had a great group that comparatively qualified. Had a good showing. Nobody advanced, but we had kids in the top third, the top 40% of the rundown, and so we were very happy with that.
Yeah. When do you do your sight reading and all that?
Yes, that we're right now working for our next UIL contest. But before that, our next UIL contest is solo and ensemble,
Oh, yes.
which comes up next week, actually, and that is going to be held here at First Baptist Church. We are hosting that for the whole top half of the region. We're thankful First Baptist has opened up their doors and their campus for us. It's one of the few areas that can host an event like that during the school day. And so we're doing that. We have 40 kids involved in that that'll be performing solos and or ensembles, small ensembles for a judging panel. Those that work up a class 1 solo and memorize it and then in turn make it first division will qualify for the state contest in Austin that's over Memorial Day. Concert and sight reading, which is our biggie in the spring, that is March the 31st for our concert band and April the 1st for our wind ensemble. And we're already working on that music as well. That's when the full band performs and for a judging panel.
In sports, a good solid meet for the Sulphur Springs powerlifting teams at Emory Rains on Saturday. And we get results from powerlifting coach Casey Jeter.
Kids showed up. We had a very good meet. Took some new lifters, got them involved. I was very proud of what they did and how they did it.
All right, give us some results.
Our girls, all 3 girls placed. First off, Addison Lamb got 2nd place. She now has a total of 600, which is huge for the 123-pound weight class. She came in and battled on her squat. She squatted 240 pounds for a 123. That's pretty impressive. I believe she bench pressed 90 pounds and she deadlifted 255 pounds. So it was a great day for her. Our newest member of the team for the girls side is Rory Young. Rory came in place. It's her first time to place this year. She had a total of 540, so she squatted 225, she deadlifted 225, and she bench pressed 90. Along with that, we had Sable. Sable took first place at the meet. Sable came in and got a new PR on squat of 325 pounds, bench pressed 115 pounds, and deadlifted 350 pounds. So Sable would have placed in the boys 165s even. So she had a great day that day.
Wow. How about the guys?
The guys. So with our guys that day, we had a great meet. Guys came in. So in the 114s, we had Austin McCain. He's been working at it very hard over the years, and Austin came in and he squatted 150 pounds, bench pressed 100 pounds, and deadlifted 200 pounds. So the fun part with Austin this year was Austin came in and battled, and he actually beat someone. He didn't just place because there were so few. He actually came in and he said, "Coach, I'm going to beat somebody today." And I said, "All right, let's go do it, dude." And he did. He competed. So typically we work to compete against ourselves, but he had a fire lit on that one. Our next one to place was Jesse Carrillo. Jesse Carrillo, actually, it's funny because he had a bad day. He did not PR in any lift and still got first place.
Wow.
So it's a pretty good day for him. And that's what we talked about. All right, well, let's get a good workout in. With him, we had in the 181s, we had his brother, Ryan Carrillo. Ryan, again, he came on and had a great deadlift day. He had a PR of 425 on deadlift. Ryan placed 5th place. With him, we had George Greenway, we moved George Greenway to the 220s this year. He went ahead and gained some weight. Statewide, 220s are actually a little less competitive than a 198, so he's got a better chance in it. GW went from a 600-pound squat to a 640-pound squat, and his deadlift went from 550 to 575. So currently he's number 1 in the region in the 220s, and he's number 2 in the state. So with him, we had a Chad Menard. Chad Menard came in the 220s, and Chad got 4th place for us. Chad squatted a PR of 505, 505 pounds, benched 245, and deadlifted 425. He had to come and compete. One of our newcomers, Sumjai Pryor. Sumjai was a letterman for the varsity football team this year, an offensive lineman, and finally talked him into coming to a meet. This was his first meet. Sumjai came in and really shocked us. Squatted 440, benched 240, and deadlifted 420, and got points for us. First time ever lifting, he medaled. He got 4th place. We were really, really proud of that kid. So our guys showed up. They had a great meet. We ended up tying for 3rd. We were happy with that. There were some really good teams there. Brownsboro was there. They were state champions from last year. So, you know, they came in and had a great meet. So,
how'd the girls, did they have a place? You may have said.
Girls didn't, you know, with 3 lifters, it's hard. Now, surprisingly, they were
a small team, yeah.
They had 4th place out of 9 teams with only 3 girls. So, yeah, all 3 placed. That was very impressive. So, and, you know, I was very proud of them.
The Wildcats and Lady Cats will lift next at a Paris meet on February 13th. And that's Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for joining me, and so long, everybody.